guys, so we're back here in the shop today. Pretty exciting day here because it is a new tool day. We got the Kreg precision miter. This is a miter gauge for the table saw. It's all factory set and machined and calibrated. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out of the box, get you close up. We're going to set it all up and put it on a table saw, maybe make some cuts. All right, show you guys what what a difference it can make to have a really good miter gauge when you're using a table saw. Because a lot of times, you get a miter gauge that comes standard with the table saw and it's not 90 degrees. You can tweak it, you can do everything, and then all of a sudden, still your corners, your miters and everything, your cross cuts, they don't line up, and you're wondering why. It's because it's not factory set up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open this up, we're going to put it together, and then we'll throw it on a table saw, see what we got. All right, so let's get close. All right, guys, so let's unbox this thing. I just got it, so I'm going to put it together. I'm sure it's going to be a few pieces that we have to get going. Instructions, we're going to need these, obviously, because you see what's in the box here. Nothing's together. So let's take it out. A little service letter here and website information from the Kreg Tool Company. Let's put that on the side. What I like to do is lay everything out, so get yourself a nice work surface here. Let's take the, let's leave the bolt, the nuts and bolts in their package for right now. We'll cut them open later with a razor. But let's just lay everything out, make sure we got it, and then what we'll do is we'll put them back in the slots they came from. Comes with what looks to be a tape measure. This is a tape measure that you're going to put on the fence of the miter gauge. That's going to give you your accurate cuts because it comes with a stop, a positive stop, so that you can make continuous cuts. All right, so let's take out this straight edge aluminum. Whenever you get something that's aluminum factory edge, it's usually dead on straight. So that's a really good piece of equipment right there. The nuts and bolts, we're going to just put them back in the box temporarily. Let's see what we can do common sense wise by setting this up here. Obviously that handle is going to go in here. Nice, heavy duty handle, threaded. Here's your miter gauge. All right, this will go in the slot of the table saw. Okay, this is the actual part of the miter gauge where you can make your angled cuts. I'll give you a close up here. So you have all the different degree angles you can make the cuts. And what I like what they did about this here is that it came with a metal pin, and because it's factory set to 0, instead of loosening it and turning it and trying to find the 90-degree mark and setting up a speed square or a framing square up on your table saw, you just put this in. Now you're at 0. It's not going to move. There's no play, and that's factory set, complete 90 degrees. So let's put this off to the side for a second. Okay, so it says to take the nylon washer. I'm going to put that over the handle, and they want you to insert the handle first. So let's just screw that right into the miter gauge. Now, obviously, if you take the pin out and the handle's screwed down, you can't move the gauge. So you, like any other miter gauge, take the pin out, you loosen the handle, and you're able to make your turns. But right now, so I'm going to keep it set to 0. I'm going to tighten it down and just snug it up. We got some more work to do here. Second step's going to be to get a skinny flathead screwdriver, and we have to put the inserts into the actual rail. So that's going to be the part that goes inside the table saw track. So we're going to thread those in, and that's going to give us the adjustment to set so that there's no slack or no play in the slot. All right, so let's get a small flathead screwdriver and set that up. Okay, so there's 5 of these that need to be screwed in. These are going to be as you adjust these, it'll take up the slack from inside the track of the table saw. Okay, now it's time to install this provided washer and screw for the T-slot. My table saw is the Rigid R4513. I did a video on that, so if you look back on my channel and you look at one of the older videos I did, I actually did a review on that table saw. So what we're going to do is we're going to install that now because the directions say to do it now. So what you're going to do is you just turn it upside down. You're going to take the washer that they give you. Screw's going to go in there. You're going to thread it to the bottom. Now I'm going to grab a Phillips head, tighten it up, and that'll be ready for the slot. Alright, so now you can see how that washer and screw sits at the bottom. Now you can see how it protrudes past the actual guide. When that slides into the T-slot, this washer is going to act as the T-fitting, like it has on the existing part of the table saw. Let's move on to the next step. Now we've got to take out the fence. Alright, so we got a few things to do here. A few things going on with this. We got to take some plastic guides that they give you. Got 4 of these little plastic guides. And what they want you to do, I guess they're slides for the table saw. So now we got the fence in the right position here. This is going to be the bottom of the fence according to the directions. They want you to snap these in. So let's snap them in. Alright guys, so I propped it up here on some wood just to maybe get a better work surface. So let's go to the next step now. We're going to take 2 bolts and the kind of like wing nuts, I guess you could say, or whatever you want to call them. These are going to go in the T-track slot, and then we can put it right through the miter gauge and attach those so that we can slide it back and forth. Alright, so let's just make sure we get this in the right position here, which we do have it in the right position. And the bolts are going to slide right in here. It doesn't matter where they are right now because you have to put them through here. So let's just line it up. I'm sure we got pretty close, which we did. Slide those bad boys in. Take the securing nut. Just put it on there. We don't have to tighten it too much because we're going to be moving it around once we get it on the table saw. So right now, just to secure it and make it a little easier to work, I'm just going to hand tighten it down to, I mean, you're going to hand tighten these anyway, but I'm just going to tighten it up until it's snug and doesn't move around and give me a lot of play because obviously, you know, we get on the table saw, you know, we want to put it in the slot and tighten it down to straighten it out. Okay, not sure if the directions say that, I haven't gotten that far yet, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn you around, put you on a table saw, and then I'm going to adjust it that way. Alright, so here we are on a table saw. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in, I remember the washer you put in for the T-slot. Now if you don't have a T-slot on your table saw, you don't have to install that. As you can see right now, you know, we're pretty much, we're getting there. This is a really good miter gauge. Very, you know, moving really smooth. You can adjust those screws in there that we installed before, and that's going to, you know, adjust the play. You can see this thing is not moving in the track at all, so I got it adjusted perfect right now. Okay guys, so the last piece of the puzzle here, we have another T-nut that goes in the slot here. Put that in there. This is going to be your positive stop here so that you can make repetitive cuts. Back up a little bit so you can see that. Now this doesn't come assembled, but it's very straightforward how to put it together. It's just a couple of washers and a bolt and a nut. And what you'll do is you'll get your T-bolt in the T-slot there, and we'll get it right through here, like that. Got it sitting on there. Okay, and you tighten it down, now it won't move. Get it out of the way. You can move it wherever you need it, depending on piece of work material that you're using. If you're not going to use it, just, you know, keep it up in the air like that, and you know, you make your cuts, and you know, that's all good. If you need to use it, you'll pop it down. You can, you know, measure to the blade. Get a piece of wood. Put it right up against there, and that's exactly where your cut's going to be. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up the saw, and we'll make a cut, test this thing out, and see how smooth it goes. All right, let's get a close-up. Guys, every time you're doing something like this, you get a new miter gauge or anything like that, you always want to check square. So what I did was I took a speed square, I put it up against the blade and the riving knife, and right up against the fence of the miter gauge here. Now, there is not even a thousandth of an inch gap in between there. That is airtight. Right up against the blade, perfect 90 degrees. That is the best part about a factory machined, dialed in and calibrated straight edge. All right, guys, so let's make a cut. So there you have it. Nice straight 90-degree cut. That was perfect. You could also do 45s on that. We'll do that in another video when I actually have to make some 45-degree miter cuts. But for the most part, it's also a bigger piece of wood than I normally would cross cut on my table saw. So you do get a little more length. Not only do you have a 24-inch fence to work with to guide the piece through, but you also have a longer rail, so you can actually push it back on the table of the saw itself to slide it on. So it kind of works a little bit more like a sled. I was going to build a cross-cut sled, but unless I'm working with a really much bigger piece than this, then I'm probably not going to need it now. So all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, share it, and come back for more. All right, I'll see you next time.